Hey there, Childcare Boss. I've got a question for you. Are you finally ready to empower your team to manage your childcare business for you? That's right. With proven interconnected systems, being a childcare boss will be made easy for you. You're in the right place with the right information. Welcome to my channel. Hey, you guys, this is your coach, Dr. Andrea Dickerson with IOwnADaycare.com, where we connect childcare business owners with proven management solutions. For today's proven management solution, I want to talk to childcare business owners and have story time. Woo! For today's story time, I want to continue the drama about my client Pam, and I just wanted to reveal some things that happens behind the scene and to encourage you on why having classroom systems are very important, task management systems are very important, and having calendar systems is very important as well. There, childcare boss, do you ever feel like your business runs you instead of the other way around? Well, at the Learn New Systems webinar, we show childcare owners like you how to streamline operations, reduce chaos, and free up time every single week. You'll discover proven systems to simplify teaching, boost enrollment, and save real time. Well, hi everyone. I am Dr. Andrea Dickerson, and with over 25 years of running multiple childcare sites, I've built over 300 systems to help you take back control. Seats will fill fast, so save your free spot today and start building the freedom and childcare business you deserve. You can find out more by clicking the link in our bio or below and get your seat at learnnewsystems.com. So you all know in the prior videos, I've been giving you some behind the scenes and story times on what happens in my life, my clients' lives, and I'm also hiding the identity of my client, but I'm just using a scenario so that you can learn from these scenarios, because sometimes we learn through stories, right? So my particular client has already grown her company. She has 3 locations, but she's missing the 3 strong systems. Number 1, classroom systems. Like, I remember helping her team implement classroom systems, and she didn't even know what her classroom systems were. And that is where you are a disconnected leader. You're not really leading the team in the transformation, and that will hurt you in the end. And I'm going to talk to you about how that hurt her, so stay tuned. Right. And so she also had an issue with her company hierarchy. You know, your company hierarchy is to help make sure that your tasks are aligned to the roles that really support your company. Wasn't forecasting where she was with 3 locations. She was still trying to manage 3 locations like she only had 1. How does that happen, coach? Well, she was taking her strong people and just pulling them, rotating them at different locations. So, for example, like, she may have had a strong teacher at one location, and instead of her allowing that teacher to be the leader of that location as a site director, she had to keep her as a teacher, pull her out the room from time to time, have her do a little office, have her do a little bit of that. And then the other 2 locations, instead of her keeping the person in the office, she will pull the person from the office, send her to the other location, have her do a little bit of this, have her do a little bit of that. And I say, hey, Pam, why don't you go ahead and just let the teacher be promoted to the director at one site, the office person be promoted to the director at the other site, so that you can have 2 strong people leading your business model? But oh no, because she couldn't see it, and God knows I tried to explain it to her through her company hierarchy, but she was caught up in running 3 locations like she did with the 1, just really relying heavily on the team that she had. So lo and behold, you know, I finally convinced her, like, hey, you need to hire us in a director. So she had this beautiful interview. This interview was all of what this candidate can do. And because there was no task management system in place, she hired this candidate, and the candidate ends up working in the room. And she was like, well, I hired her because she got classroom experience and director experience, but she ends up putting her more so in the room. I said, well, let's go back and see where the challenge happened. Did you train her? Well, no, she already had experience. I didn't really have a training program. I didn't really have tasks available. So Pam was making the person write down what they were doing every hour on the hour. I understand, like, that's to help you develop the task list. But when you're not a novice anymore, childcare owners, what's the difference between a system and a process? I'm glad you asked. A system is the structure that keeps your business running, like enrollment, hiring, billing. A process, however, is the step-by-step way you carry out that system. Without systems, you're stuck in chaos. But clear processes, your center runs smoothly. That's why I'm inviting you to the Learn New Systems webinar, where I'll show you how to put the right systems in place for lasting freedom. So register today, www.learnnewsystems.com. You begin to understand what systems manage this role. What systems manage my organization? And so that was the level of leadership. That was the level of knowing I was trying to get Pam to become. I was trying to get her to become a person that knew this about her company, but she was an absent-minded owner. And when you are an absent-minded owner, you depend so much on everybody else that you don't know what's happening in your rooms. All you know is when stuff hit the fan, okay? When the Sweet Honey Iced Tea hit the fan, that's all you know, is that the Sweet Honey Iced Tea has hit the fan. And that's where she went wrong, because she didn't have those 3 strong processes in place. And you could tell it to her and explain it, but Pam was like set in her ways. You know, once you hit a certain success level, you got millions coming in. Sometimes you don't see yourself because you are a millionaire. You got millions coming in. But those millions does not clear up the fact that you don't have the elite status of freedom and queendom. You got to have, like, where you still sit on your throne, where you still are excited about owning your own company because you got freedom. And I'm not talking about the freedom to take a vacation when you get ready to. Like, you could be disorganized and still take a break when you get ready to. I'm talking about the freedom of leading your team, and that's what you do. You just specialize in leading your organization, and your team manages it for you. That is freedom. I know, because I accomplished it and my clients accomplish it too. Like, my clients, when they start working with me, they rarely go back into their business. Like, it's like 2 to 3 years I've been working with Rose, and Rose has not had to go into the day-to-day of her operations. Like, that's freedom, because all she has to do now is lead. All right, so back to Pam. So now Pam is missing the classroom system because I'm working with her team and implementing it, but she's not leading it. So if I'm not showing up to say, hey, what's going on in your classroom, she has no unction to even go into that portion and say, oh, that's a system that's connected. Oh, that's a system. Yes, I'm like, yes. And so we know that the classroom system is not as strong. We know that the task management system is not as strong. The reason why the task management system is not as strong is because of mindset. Trying to run 3 locations like you did 1, that doesn't work. And then the last one was calendar system. You got to have your training systems. You got to have your, like, this is a training calendar. You got to have your training calendar, your topics, all right? And then you have to have a framework that you use to train. And so all of these tools were available to Pam, but she didn't get engaged. She was absent-minded. She didn't get engaged. And so when you ask her, okay, well, what's your training about? You know, what's coming up in your training? I'm not saying she didn't have training. Yes, she did have her meetings. You cannot survive as long as she has without them. But I'm talking about the real mind involved in knowing what's happening in your company, setting clear KPIs, and teaching your team to reach them. That was something that I didn't really see happening. And of course, we parted ways. She went on to bigger and better things. I'm willing to say that. And there's no love lost. But what I have recognized is sometimes we got to tell the stories behind the story so that we can understand, like, you can get all the mentorship, all the coaching, all the guidance that is necessary, and that we sell to you guys to say this is going to change your life. But coaching is not just a purchase. It is really to help you experience a transformation. In order for you to get a transformation, you got to be engaged. You got to be involved. You got to be willing to do the work. And if she had been willing to stay committed and do the work, I believe that she would have experienced what we offer. But after a few years, she decided, hey, I want to move on. I want to get something bigger and better. No problem. But now is your opportunity. You can get started with what she paid thousands for. You can get the digital version. And you can really have this transformation happen in your company. And I'm telling you, like, hey, it worked for her. It worked for her. It worked for Rose. It worked for her. It worked for Dr. Jefferson. It can work for you. So be sure to click the link below and grab your digital classroom product, because it's working for my clients. And I know it'll work for you too. All right. And as always, remember, if you manage the childcare business that you love, you will love the childcare business that you manage. Bye, you guys. The problem isn't the people, it's your systems. With the right system and process, your center runs smooth, parents are happy, and staff will stay on track. You'll finally get your freedom back. Join my free Learn New Systems webinar, and I'll show you exactly how. Don't wait. Register today. www.learnnewsystems.com.